All right, welcome to another episode here. Today we're going to take a look at DKNG or DraftKings, and we're going to take a look to see, is it ready to explode? There's a lot of chatter about DraftKings. And if you really are looking kind of into DraftKings, I'm going to talk about some support resistance levels on this and give you my personal take. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade. It's just my own personal opinion. All right, so let's kick things off and get started. So if you look up DraftKings, and we're starting to just kind of look at the chart here, and we look at the 6 months, this stock has been trending downward. And you look at kind of like, let's say the 1 year here, the stock is just really struggled this recently. So now the question is are we bottoming? And really, DraftKings, if you look at it, is an American daily fantasy sports contest and sports betting company. So, you know, you're betting on sports related things, and they're kind of doing that type of stuff. So anyway, as we go in and check this stock out, what I want you to take a look at is just recently this stock's been having trouble. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basically months of just red action nonstop. The volume on the bearish side has been growing. The stock as inception here started out in around 2019, exploded really quickly, and you've got into this resistance level near the top, which is right around the $66, $70 range. So if we go into the weekly, you can see kind of this major explosion here at the beginning, another more explosive, but then you've got a little bit of a problem. This, if you're looking at patterns, it could be a little bit more of a head and shoulders type of pattern. There's also a little bit of a line here that was also broken when you're starting to look at trend lines. So there was a selling problem here. There's resistance over here. So anyways, that's the top heavy part of the chart. But with that being said, the question is are we looking for a turnaround at this point? Well, we still have some selling pressure that's coming in. That's one big thing that's a little bit of a red flag. The months are red, as you saw. The weeks are also usually red. There have been 1 or 2 weeks that are kind of green, but nothing significant or anything major. So overall, you're getting like 90-95% of the time, you're getting a lot of the red action going on. Okay, let's take a look at the daily. So here's one thing that's interesting for me is as I look at kind of, let's do a 2 day so we could see the rest of the chart a little bit more. You had a little bit of a swing low here in the past, and it started to kind of, you know, take in and bite those support levels as we get into this price level, which is right around that $26, $28 range. That this stock is starting to kind of base. So rather than just taking this line and going kind of straight down, what you're starting to see is it's starting to deviate from this straight down approach. You're starting to see it deviate a little bit more kind of in this sideways action, but not quite yet. So let's go in and zoom in on the more recent area. So if you look at this line, which is the moving average, you can see it's been going down at this pace and level. And if I continue that trend right there, okay, see, there it is. It's going down this level. But then now what's happening is this line is actually converting into more of a line this way, which is horizontal or sideways. So it's still trending on the downward, but the slope or the angle has also changed. And if you look at this level, you're starting to see this rounding area right here, which could also lead into possible support right around 25 is a nice level. And you can see that stock went right into that level, bounced, and it started to bounce with a little bit more heavier volume. So as we look at this, this is kind of your little bit of the support. You've got kind of the sideways price action coming in at the highs here and highs here. So you're watching for this range. As this starts to build, continues to build, and you're looking for a possible turn here, that's what you're looking for, is that, hey, if this stock is ready to break out, you're watching for this turnaround, you're watching for more volume to pick up, the green buying volume, nice wide price spread, so bars to pick up some speed. And obviously a good descending break on this pattern as well. So look at this downward action right here. It's starting to break, right? So you've got this resistance here. It's starting to try and break, but now it's using it as support. And now that line is not as relevant in the current time frame. So that's where we're starting to see, hey, let's look at some of these other lines and levels and see if we can get that turnaround. And you know, if you're looking for maybe like a cheap play, a speculative play, or start building a position, you're starting to look at this extension and saying, hey, okay, it's fairly extended on the downside. As I look at the longer term as well, we're pulling back quite a bit, and you're almost getting into the bottoms over here where the highs were back in 2020. So from that price perspective, it's starting to look attractive where buyers may start to step in. Ultimately, if you look at your resistance levels, just keep that in mind that you still have this $55, $65 range where the stock's going to have some trouble. So 65 is kind of that range. But remember, it's not just an exact price. You're looking at the range, like 63 to 67 is kind of what you're looking at, where you'll get some resistance. And then currently right around 25 is starting to look like a better value if the stock can hold. If not, what you might see is a little bounce, counter trend bounce up to a certain level, and you could see rejection where it could then create this A to B, C, and D pattern, and that's if the stock is really toast. If not, what you might see is coming in right here, bounce. You could even see it retrace something around those lines, or even bounce, pull back halfway, and go something like that, where you have that ABCD smaller time frames moving to the upside, because it takes time to build this rounding basing pattern here. So be patient, be careful. You still have some selling pressure. There's still a lot of redness going there and selling. So you want to be mindful with what's going on. But if you're watching it, nibbling on it, watch for these breaks. And when the volume starts picking up, that's kind of what you're really looking for. And that's where you might want to step into the game. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and I will see you in the next video.